A couple days ago, we had 80 fourth graders in this room, and you can appreciate fourth grade exuberance and energy. And you can, we all have it this morning, right? But then we also understand the extraordinary gravity and impact of the decision that's been made. I think we all agree that the highest calling of government is keeping us safe and keeping our society civil. So this is a big deal. It's an incredible day for our court system, for our Constitution, the state of Nebraska. As we don't just announce the appointment of a judge, we pass the branch of government in announcing the next Chief Justice of the Nebraska Supreme Court. This is something we rarely do. This is a historic day. It's a great day of celebration. Before I introduce our next Chief Justice, I have several folks that are here that are distinguished that I certainly want to recognize. Being joined here by the Nebraska Supreme Court, thank you, and the judges of the Court of Appeals, thank you. We're also joined by the judges of the Nebraska Federal District Court, Chief Judge Robert Rossiter, thank you, and former Nebraska Supreme Court, United States District Judge and former Nebraska Supreme Court Justice John Girard, thank you. I have to just tell you this one so we have a little bit of fun in a momentous moment. Judge Girard is a neighbor from Schuyler, and I'm a Columbus guy, and we, Columbus Lakeview, played the Schuyler Warriors, and we had one of those extraordinary moments 100 years later you'll never forget. We played in the district finals, and Schuyler was coming off of having Chuck Jura and Gene Harmon, incredible basketball tradition, and somehow the third year of Columbus Lakeview School, we won in district final in a couple overtimes, and it's one that I'll never forget, and John wants to forget. So I thought I'd just kind of remind him a minute. Let's get serious now. I want to thank all of you judges for joining us today, but also your extraordinary public service. Your extraordinary public service to our state and our nation. 5 years ago, I couldn't have made that comment to have as full of an appreciation, so I can today, so thank you. Also want to thank the leader of the Nebraska Legislative Branch, Speaker Arch, for being here, for joining us on this incredible day. And of course, my colleague, Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly, whose own work in law as a lifelong prosecutor and United States attorney has been nothing but short of remarkable. Thank you, Joe, for your friendship and always being there. I want to reserve a very special thanks to one of Nebraska's most exceptional public servants here with us, Chief Justice Havikin. I first got to know Chief Justice as Mike when Joe would say, hey, we need you, let's go for a run 10, 12 years ago, and here one day it was Mike from Schuyler, so Chief Justice. Okay, that's not normal every day, right? By the way, none of this is normal of what we get the privilege to do. I think that if there's ever a day it becomes normal, we should hang it up, because this is an extraordinary privilege for all of us. And with the chief, we're going to be able to celebrate lengthily in a week or so, and I'm sure the chief is really excited to sit up on a throne and be. But I would like to share an experience I had with the chief just before I was inaugurated as governor, and hopefully it can help all of us. I talk about it hundreds of times, and will continue as long as I'm your governor. It's when we were in transition, and the chief was taking us through the court, and we got into the chambers, and I had never been there, and I said, holy cow, this is incredible, Chief. And then I said, what was it like the first time you sat in a chair? And he looked at me, and he set the standard with his comment, and I hope none of us will ever forget it. it impacted me dramatically. He said, "Jim, I've been sitting in this chair 16 years, and it's exactly the same today as the first time I sat in a chair." And that is really the gold standard of the calling of public service. Kent, you've lived it, you've walked it, and thank you for teaching it. Incredibly important, and hopefully we can share that, because I think we don't get that by osmosis. It's really important that we keep sharing it and that we all can keep living it. So, Chief, thank you for extraordinary leadership. It's amazing. Filling his shoes might be as hard as Judge trying to fill Chuck Jura's shoes on the basketball floor. But I believe we found someone up to the task. Today I have the incredible, distinct honor and privilege to introduce the next Chief Justice of the Nebraska Supreme Court, Justice Jeffrey Funk. Justice Funk, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to you and your family. And gosh, when you have the first grandbaby named Augie, you can never go wrong. It's one of my special ones. That's awesome. For Nebraska, who are not familiar with how we select judges, I think it's important that we give just a little insight into this extraordinary process that's led to this appointment. After a judicial vacancy opens, prospective candidates first must pass through a nominating commission that carefully scrutinizes their qualifications for the job they seek. This is a gauntlet that is second to none of anything I've ever experienced in my lifetime by far. A committee of 8 people, half lawyers, half lay people, all who are incredibly accomplished in the state of Nebraska, review the candidates' background, study the records, question them at length, and that was also streamed, part of it live on internet. The commission forwards the qualified candidates to the governor's office. Although our process is a little quieter and a little less public, let me tell you, it's been incredibly rigorous. An extraordinary amount of time by Joe and I and our team, and I'm incredibly grateful for our team. We've worked very, very hard, reviewing not only the candidates' application or packages, but also all their judicial decisions and their leadership history, and how they walk their walk in life, and perspectives from distinguished judicial experts. We didn't live in a cave. We've reached out and engaged with a lot of people. The other part is my team has always assured me when it came to judicial appointments at any level, I'd be able to tell if the system's working. And that would mean I'd have hard choices, that we would have extraordinary candidates for each appointment, because it would mean that, and needless to say, that's been an incredible example for this. But Justice Funk was among a group of 4 judges who applied for this role, all of whom are remarkable public servants in their own right. They were incredibly impressive on paper and in person. Joe and I talked, going through the process of interviewing the judge candidates. Might be the most extraordinary experience we've had in our lives. It's been absolutely incredible. And Justice Funk was a group of the 4 judges who applied for this role, all impressive, and ultimately, Joe and I found Judge Funk to have all the attributes we expect of a court leader: a sound judicial temperament and a brilliant mind, and an abiding commitment to honoring the text of the law as it's written and not as he might prefer it. I shared with the judge's family one that touched me deeply, that the judge exemplified in raising his family in Nebraska City. All of us that grow up in small communities know and understand how sometimes local politics can be hard. And sometimes it might be easier to stay secluded. The judge raised his family, coaching his kids, being engaged at every step in the community where he had to be a part of making tough decisions. That's an extraordinary temperament and disposition that very, very few people could do. His impressive record of services has prepared him to keep the ship running really, really well. He's worked in private law practice. He's been a prosecutor as both a county and district court judge, and the last 8 years as a judge on the Nebraska Supreme Court. He is humbled by the challenges before him, I can assure you that, but has the confidence and the experience and expertise necessary to tackle those public challenges. Public services at this level is an extraordinary commitment and not for the faint of heart, and it can't be done without your family's support. And I'm incredibly grateful for Justice Funk's family that's here with us. Congratulations to Hetty and Jack and Will, Maggie and Mark. And of course, Augie. Where's Augie? Is Augie taking a snooze? All right. Thank you for sharing your husband and your dad and grandpa for the people of the state. I know Justice Funk will do Nebraska proud, have 100% confidence in that, and will serve with incredible distinction for years and years to come. Congratulations, Judge. I told the family I was going to try to be John Wood and go quick but not too fast. So a couple before you get to hear from the judge, would like to introduce my friend and colleague, an extraordinary public servant of his whole lifetime, Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly.
Thank you, Governor. I think the first thing I'd like to do is the obvious of congratulating you, Judge, and your family. What a wonderful day. They will never forget it. You will never forget it. Such a positive thing, such a wonderful thing. And you got this job because of the work that you've done and because of the respect. I did want to say another thing like the governor did about the process. And as I see these justices in front of us today, it reinforces when you get in a process like that here in Lincoln, Nebraska, you soon realize what I learned in my time in state court and federal court. Nebraskans are lucky for the judiciary that we have. All four of these applicants were judges in state court, and all four of them were outstanding individuals. In Nebraska, we don't know how good we have it, I think, sometimes on the bench, both in state court and in federal court. And so it's great to see some of those members with us today. Nebraskans can be proud. And the final thing, I will, like the governor, save for next week my comments to the Chief Justice, my friend of many years. But I think now, having met Justice Funk in the late 90s in a county attorney context, and now waiting for the Chief Justice Heavican to be introduced, I think all three of us would say, no, we didn't really ever see this one coming, where we would all three be on this stage in this endeavor. So, Chief Justice, thank you. We'll talk more about your great career next week.
Thank you, Joe. And now I'd like to turn it over to public servant extraordinaire that says it's the same today as it was 16 years ago, that sets the standard for all of us to aspire to, Chief Justice Heavican.
Governor Pillen, thank you very much for those very kind words. And also thank you very much, both you and Joe Kelly, for the respect that you have shown today and throughout your terms for the process in Nebraska for selecting judges, and for your respect of how important an independent judiciary is. And as Joe Kelly noted, Nebraska has a super fine group of judges, and all of our judiciary that do very, very good work. When I was the United States Attorney, it was not unusual to watch my counterparts around the United States often prosecute judges on the East Coast, in Cook County, in Illinois, and in the South. That was never part of Nebraska or the customs that we have in our political process in Nebraska, and certainly not in our judiciary. And the folks that we have in our judiciary today are keeping up that fine process. So thank you very much for your respect for the system. Congratulations to Chief Justice Designate Funk. I have very good things to say about Jeff Funk. As noted, all of the candidates for this job were very fine people. Jeff Funk has been on the Supreme Court for about 8 years, I think. And during that period of time, without any push from me, he has taken over on all kinds of administrative leadership kinds of things, particularly with probation and with problem-solving courts. He's been a leader there. And even before he came on to the court, he was one of the people that really took the concept of cameras in our trial courts and got that to be a functioning kind of thing and sold that to his fellow trial court judges. So he has shown great leadership all along, and I am very confident that he will do a very fine job in the future. So congratulations, Chief Justice Designate Funk.
Gosh, thanks a lot, Mike. You know, maybe you've heard enough of me, but I think one thing that's really important is your governor. I'm your chief bragging officer, and we do have to brag about what we have going on in our state. It's extraordinary. And thank you to the people in this room that we have a full appreciation that we live in the safest place in the world here in Nebraska. 90% of our children that are in every school they're in, guess where they want to live and raise their families? They want to do it in the homes where they've grown up because of safety, and your role's extraordinary, been for years. So with no further ado, I want to introduce Chief Justice Designate Jeff Funk. Congratulations.
I first want to thank the governor and lieutenant governor for taking this process seriously, the Judicial Nominating Commission doing their fine work, and then the trust and confidence they have placed in me to follow in the shoes of Chief Justice Heavican. It is not lost on me the importance of this job and the fine work that has been done for the last 18 years by the chief. So I thank the governor and lieutenant governor personally. I want to thank Chief Justice Heavican for 18 years for the Nebraska Judicial Branch and over 50 years for Nebraska lawyers. He has been an advocate, he's been an innovator, he's been a diligent public servant. He has transformed the judicial branch in those 18 years. Now, he didn't do it all alone. We had some really good people helping him, but his work is extraordinary, and there will never be anyone like him again. So I thank Chief Justice Heavican. I want to thank the three other applicants that applied for this position, Judge Freeman, Judge Post, and Judge Bargan. This is not an easy process, as the governor detailed, and you get scrutinized, and you second-guess yourself. And for those three to take on the responsibility of putting themselves out there and accepting that scrutiny and going through the process, I commend them and I appreciate their service. As I said in the Judicial Nominating Commission, they are three excellent candidates. The cupboard is not bare We have good people in the system, and they are 3 examples of those good people. I want to thank the members of the court, Supreme Court, that I work with on a daily basis, the members of the Court of Appeals, and the members of the federal court that we have a unique partnership with. It's something that the Chief Justice with the federal group brought together and instigated, where we have communications at all levels of the judiciary in the state of Nebraska. And I will be able to maintain that because of the good work that's been done before me. So thank you all for your work. You're making Nebraska a better place, and thank you for being here today. I want to thank the 1,500 people that work in the judicial branch. Those are heart and soul of what we do and why we do it and how we do it. We have people that are in the trial court services, we have judges, we have staff, we have probation, we have public guardians, and their sole responsibility is to serve the public. And they do that tirelessly, and they do that with innovation and creativity, and they take on every challenge given to them. And so whatever success we have had in the past or we may have in the future, I owe it all to the work of those people. And I'm looking forward to tapping those resources in the next few years as I take on this responsibility. I want to thank, obviously, the Bar, Nebraska State Bar Association and the Nebraska State Bar Foundation. Those 2 entities promote and support the legal system in the state of Nebraska. And lawyers would not be as effective in serving the public if they didn't have those associations behind them. So I thank both of those organizations. I want to thank my family, who I've got a chance to bring today, my wife Hetty, my daughter Maggie, her husband Mark, their son Augie, who has stolen the show today, my son Jack and his girlfriend Brooke, and my son Will and his girlfriend Chloe. I have my brother and sister-in-law in the back. All these people have been there and supported me on each and every endeavor. This is my 4th go-around, county court, district court, Supreme Court, and now Chief Justice. And they know what the scrutiny is like, and they know what it does to their lives. And they've always said, if this is what you want to do, we will support you. And when these jobs take us away from our families, and we all do, we all get taken away at times, they're there to pick up the slack and make sacrifices. So I'm ever indebted to them and their support. In closing, I would just like to say that, as the governor said, he never thought he maybe would be standing here. I did not think I would be standing here. My goal when I left law school, University of Nebraska School of Law in 1994, was maybe someday be a county judge in Nebraska City. I thought that was a pretty good job. I knew the county judge. I respected him immensely and thought if I could have a role in our community the way he did, that'd be something I should accomplish. And so I set myself out to do that. And I was fortunate enough that Governor Heineman appointed me to that position. In 2007, I took over in the county bench. And I did 6 years on the county bench. It was some of the most, I think, influential and important times of my life. I got to see firsthand the People's Court. The county court is really the opportunity for the public to connect with the judicial branch. And so I got that opportunity in 6 years working with some of the best judges in the state, and I appreciated all of their insight and their assistance. And then I got to do district court, and I did that for 3 years and thought, okay, this is fantastic. I'll do this the rest of my life. And then the Supreme Court came open, and I thought, maybe I can help there. Maybe I can do some things to improve the judiciary and assist the other judges in their work. So I took that opportunity. And then when this spot came open 2 months ago, when the chief unceremoniously dropped the bomb on us and he was retiring, I went back and said, is this what I should be doing? And the support has been overwhelming. The prayers, too many people to thank. But I really want to thank our trial judges. We have great judges. I'm looking forward to working with them and carrying on this good work of the judiciary. So thank you all for being here today, and I appreciate any insight you can give us to keep doing this job as good as we can. So thank you.
That concludes our conference, and again, gigantic kudos. I'll leave it with the last. I said to the judge, is it normal serving in the Supreme Court? His answer was, are you kidding? It's really, really important for none of our privileges. Who'd have ever thought we'd be standing here, that it's never normal. God bless you all. Thanks for being here today. Congratulations.